especially now during our COVID time. So I wanted to share that with you all. So. And then I wanted to just speak a little bit about our personal rec department. And let me just screen share. Whoop, sorry. Let me. Where is it? Where is it? Amy, can you mute? Sorry.
Yep. Who am I muting you?
Are you guys hearing that?
No.
Are you guys hearing that or no?
Not hearing
I don't
anything.
hear anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry, something popped up on my computer. I apologize for that. Okay. Okay, and so then the next thing that I'd like to just share is a document kind of highlighting Thompson Rec highlights from the year. So just a couple of highlights during this COVID time from July to February. We've have 11 new programs so that we've established in that time period. So the Maker Fair, which is a great success. We've been doing a Zoom senior strength and balance class. We just finished off a virtual family trivia night this past weekend. We had 34 families participating in a virtual family trivia night. Assisting with a community garden development at 65 Main, a summer reading program in Riverside Park in partnership with It Starts at Home, the NIPS for Holiday Cheer program, which you're all familiar with, the NIPS collection, and then a Suffrage 100 program, a holiday light contest, remote learning care assistance, and Zoom hoop classes and winter break Zoom classes. So a lot of new programs, innovation that's been coming out of the rec department in this last year. And then, of course, our continued programs with yoga and senior craft and our modified basketball program and our before and after school program. Since July, since the start of the fiscal year, we've had 699 registrations processed, and 83% of those registrations of our program participants are residents and 17% are non-residents. And of the 699 registrations that came in during that time period, 165 were first-time registrations, so 24%. So we're still attracting, new residents and non-residents to our programs. And then just a couple of special events and estimated attendance. Our summer concerts in their new locations were a great success. The suffrage program, the tag sale on its new date, and the Maker Fair, our Halloween celebration, which was moved from our typical laser light show to the drive-through trunk or treat at the Speedway, and the new holiday light contest. Just a couple of personal program department highlights that I'm really proud of is it's been a challenge to adjust to all of the protocols for COVID-19. It's quite a lengthy list of protocols and regulations, and particularly here in the rec department, we're not just looking at one set of regulations. We were looking at regulations for childcare, regulations for special events, regulations for youth sports. So it was a different sets of ever-changing guidelines and regulations from the state, and staying up to date on all of those and modifying to keep our programs and our program participants safe. The next is that early on in the pandemic, I organized a regional recreation directors meeting. So from Plainfield, Sterling, Putnam, Woodstock, Pomfret, we started meeting every probably 2 weeks at the beginning of the pandemic, and now we've settled on meeting quarterly. So I've been organizing those meetings, and it's really helped us to collaborate on events and to just bounce ideas off each other and really be on the same page and to share resources, of when we're planning things, and to keep each other in the loop as new regulations unfold. And the last thing that was really a highlight, I think, is the remote learning care program. So we were able to partner with the school in September and offer care for the children of Thompson teachers who work in Thompson but live in other districts that were remote. And so it allowed them to have a affordable program that they could send their kids to and to assist with their remote learning while they were teaching Thompson students. And then we also were able to provide this remote learning care on several of the times that the school has gone to remote learning, whether it was the middle school or the elementary school. So I'm just proud that we've been able to shift gears and work with the school on that. And that's just a couple of program highlights that I wanted to share with you all. Does anyone have any questions or comments about any of the things they've seen coming out of the rec department?
All I can say, Leslie, is you've really done a fabulous job navigating, been on top of everything and assisting and helping with the school. It's been a good partnership. So thanks for all that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Yes, I think she's doing a really great job. Cynthia Antos, I'm on Recreation Commission, and she's fabulous. She's doing a fantastic job, and very proud of her.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, so I guess that was it. I just wanted to share those highlights before we go into the budget. So I think Orla's got that to share and everyone has a copy. So
And you'd be able to share your screen.
So I'm going to share the budget book now. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, do you see the document?
yes.
Okay, just going to stroll up and then you can start talking, Leslie.
Sure. So we didn't really make too many adjustments. So we left wages the same. So one of the adjustments we made last year was increasing the part-time staff who was at 19 hours to maintain balance with the increase in minimum wage. So we did eliminate the seasonal summer position for last season because of we knew that it was going to be either most likely a modified summer program or no summer program. So we did eliminate that position. We maintained essentially from 2019 to 2020 the same amount in that recreation part-time staff, and I'm putting in to leave it at the same, as I do anticipate we will be running a summer program, but that it will be similar size to what we experienced in 2019. So I feel comfortable with the amount of staffing that we have, just slightly modifying our schedules to have coverage during the summer camp season, or having that person work less hours in the non-summer months and then increasing in the summer. So I left that the same. You can scroll down, Orla. So I did slightly increase meetings and fees, and that's for to maintain some training in CPR and first aid. And then everything else in that line I kept the same. And then in the next line, I did decrease the senior citizens lines. We currently have some, oh, can you limit me right there? We currently have some open events with TVCCA. So when we are allowed to have the seniors gather together in person, we do have on the books with them 2 special meals. So I feel comfortable that we'll still be able to provide those events for the seniors, slightly decreasing that senior citizens amount. And then I did increase the summer concert program. It was a great success moving it to the ball field. And we've just seen that the there's an increase in booking musicians. So budgeting that. And then also the Porta Johns do come out of that budget line. So we have a Porta John there at Riverside Park. for those events. And then in the next lines, a couple down, I did a slight increase on Thompson Community Day of $50, and that's just an increase in expenses as those are growing. We're anticipating that next year. And then the largest thing is that at the very bottom, below recreation supply, or increased recreation supplies by 100, again, just increase in expenses. And then I added in the recreation software. So we utilize a software program called MyRec, and that's how we run all of our registrations. The annual cost of that program varies depending on the amount of registrations we have coming in.
I do not. That would be an Orla question, I think.
right.
She's not here. They're in budget meetings from 2 to like 8 tonight. Okay. Thanks.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Amy. So I did put in for an increase of $2,000 for the recreation software. As I was saying, it varies. This year we paid just over $2,000, but sometimes it will be as high as $4,300. And that program runs all of our online registration, whether it's for paid events or for free events. And we have certainly do have some other departments that are utilizing that recreation software as well. So we're using it for the community garden registration, for the Maker Fair registration, and it really allows us to have all those things on the website as well. So it's a great promotional tool and a great tool to also send emails. So we have, I think, around 2,500 residents' emails in that system. So during COVID, we were able to send out alerts to those residents and to sort and send out things that are just pertinent to, different age groups or only to residents, but it's residents and non-residents in the system. But so I did put that recreation software into the budget, just part of it. So half of it would be covered by the programs that we're running, and then looking to have some of it covered by this fund. So you can see it's just a total increase of about 2,700, 3% for fiscal 21.
So Leslie, the increase, this is Amy St. Ange, by the way, the increase in software, that falls under recreation supplies. It's just.
Okay, so we would put it in there.
Is that, or are you just asking for, I just don't see it here. I'm trying to.
It's at the very bottom. I added it as a new line item. So I mean, it doesn't really have a current line item. Could you scroll up, Orla?
I'm trying to find it on my sheets here.
Is that, Orla, is that one of the changes with the new sheets that you sent out today? Right before?
That is correct. Yeah, it's the changed one that I sent earlier on.
Amy, before the meeting this morning, and then I saw when I got home that there were more updated sheets sent. I'm assuming.
Okay, that's what I'm missing. Then I'll have to print that out later.
Okay.
So I hand wrote it in.
Okay,
This is the only one that's updated.
This is, okay, that's good to know. I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah, I mean, we could put it under meetings and fees is a kind of, an odd title for that line item, because it is really our, that's our membership to Central Connecticut, or to Connecticut Parks and Rec Association, and some other, that's also where we put our fee that we pay to the background check company that we use is in meetings and fees. So that's kind of a mislabeled. I would say that those are really our online systems, but I stuck this, could you scroll down again, Orla? Just a little, sorry.
Where is it?
I stuck it at the very bottom just to show, and I had highlighted it as yellow, but just to show it's below recreation supplies,
Okay, yeah.
$2,000. And that would be an additional line that we would add to the budget to show that.
That seems more understandable. All I could find on the first sheet was $100, and I was like, that doesn't seem right.
No.
Better.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Leslie, what is the total cost for the software?
It varies from year to year depending on how many registrations. So in this last year, I think it was 20, or can you correct me if I'm wrong, but I can bring it up pretty quickly. I think it was around 2,300 this year, but it can be as high as 4,300.
And how come
That sounds right.
was it in last year's budget?
It was not in last year's budget. So in the past, it's been covered by the program. So it's built into the program participant costs, but we do run the registration for some free programs through this. So, you know, if we're running a family, for example, family trivia night, which we ran last night, it's an online, we took the registrations through the program, but we didn't take in any fees. So, you know,
So wouldn't we be pulling that dollar amount out of the programs then that we're funding? It sounds like there's still, if it was paid, $2,300 was paid for by the programming, why are we adding 2,000?
because some of the programs that are run in the system are run for free. So we don't always collect money to cover the cost of the registration system.
Yeah, something's not equaling out there. So maybe we need to look at that.
I would think at best, if you're covering it in part of your programs, that whether it's 3/4 or half, that's the number that would be reflected in the new line item.
Can I make a comment? Just in relation to this. So, you know, the programs that we receive income for are self-funded. We don't, you know, it's a line item, it's a fund, it's processed. You either break even or you make some money or occasionally you lose it. This is different. These programs are the ones that we're not collecting income for. But the cost of this software, which includes registrations for free programs, has been covered by programs that we've been bringing in money for. What Leslie's suggesting is we break some of that cost out and allocate some of the cost against non-income bearing programs. Because otherwise, the fund where we have self-programs is funding the whole lot. And in theory, it shouldn't.
And you're saying that this is a percentage of, what was the total cost of the software? Or it varies on how many
It
registrations?
varies year to year based on the registrations. The highest it's been is 4,300.
Yeah, that's been as high as 5 in the past, but generally somewhere between 4,000 and
What
4,500.
did it cost last year?
Well, last year was different because we didn't have the programs. But I think Leslie was saying she thinks it was 2,300, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, or 27, I believe.
Right.
So now you're asking to have that line changed and for your budget to absorb almost the total cost of it.
Well, half.
No, it's not the total cost, Suzanne. It's only a portion of.
If it was 2,300 or if it's a portion of it, can we get some more information on what it has cost in the past? Maybe that will.
Absolutely, we can provide that. I can actually dig out that information, no problem. But remember, last year was not your typical year. Would you agree with that, Leslie?
Yeah, in 2018, it cost $39.95. In 2019, it cost $4,010. And let me find 2020.
So that makes more sense when you break it down that way.
Yep.
18, it was what?
In 18, it was $39.95.
Okay, 19, it was what?
$4,010.
And in 20, you said it was 2,300. Okay.
Yeah, I think 27. I can get that for you in a
Makes
minute.
more sense to me.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna have to put a footnote in there because it will get confusing. If your costs are averaging 4,000, you're gonna put a footnote that, you know, half of it is, we're putting in the half to cover of the total 4, you know, because they're not, those costs aren't being passed on to the programs. That way, if somebody looks at it, they'll understand, well, you've got a 2,000, you know, that line item, but you need to put a footnote to that.
And Leslie, have you increased the programs that do not require a fee?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was there an increase in programs that are free? Would that require registration?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, when you looked at, we try to offer as many programs for free as possible, you know, and to really stretch our dollar. And so, especially in this COVID year, yeah, we haven't been increasing those programs. So
Can you give us some numbers on that? Because when it's presented to the Board of Finance, they're going to say $2,000, but it wasn't there before, but you've been able to survive without it. We don't want that to happen. So
yeah, I would say,
and data.
yeah, I would say the other thing is that, you know, over the years that what's been happening, and this was, I guess, best practice, is that the software annual charge was coming out of the total fund balance. But what that means is that every year you're relying on on there being a surplus in that fund balance to, you know, continue to pay that. But at a certain point, that fund balance is going to be down to zero. And we won't be able to cover that. So,
What do you have in the rec fund currently?
1 moment. It was at 9,759, but that we just paid our bill. So, 1 moment. It's less than that. I think it's around 6,000.
Yeah, that would make sense, Leslie, because at the beginning of the fiscal year, we were at 97.59.
Sorry, this wasn't moved. So, okay. Oh, so our bill this year for the online registration system was $29.95. So yeah, just about 3. So it was more than I thought. I thought it was 23. It was $29.95. And that means I don't know why that wasn't moved.
I'm just looking back at one of the old
Our
fiscal.
fund balance is 6,764.
Yeah. Just so you know, I just pulled up some information that I can't actually share right now, Leslie, because I'm accessing remote. But in fiscal 17, the fees were actually $5,100. The credit card fees, the software fees.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Recording secretary is still at $75.50 a meeting. How long do you an average meeting, monthly meeting? You have 1 meeting a month, right?
Correct.
And I want to look at these. They're doing the agendas.
Correct.
And how long do your meetings typically last?
An hour and a half to 2 hours.
Perfect.
Yep. So she does the posting online, and she does, of course, all the minutes, and then posts those online as well.
Did she write the agenda?
No, I write the agenda.
They asked, what do the other departments get for the meeting fees, for the recording?
It varies.
In what way?
Depending on the length of the meeting, but the amount of work, whether they have to do the agendas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the more detailed
Right.
boards
Planning
have,
meeting is really detailed.
like
Yeah, some of
P
them
and
actually have to
Z.
do some research, some of them
Yeah.
have to do mail out, some of them write the agenda, some of them don't. Sometimes the meetings go longer, some have multiple meetings a month. It varies by job responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for the sake of staying on schedule, any other questions? Not to rush anybody if you've got questions.
Well,
Thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, sorry. I think thanks, Orla, for your help on explaining sort of the recreation software piece. Again, yeah, it's really to the promotion of the programs that are currently on this budget, and to help with that, you know, with the running of those programs. So
Could you, just as a side note, could you just look at how many new programs you have that there is no fees involved? I just want to understand why it was pulled out and looked at as separate or a percentage of.
why it was pulled out?
Yeah, I just want to be able to have a little more understanding of that.
Yeah,
If
sure.
You can just look at the increase in the number of free programs that you have that require registration. And it probably even includes things like how many people had to register for each program, sort of thing.
Yep, sure. Some of those I can do, but some of them it's also the promotion of programs that we don't even take registrations for. So for example, the summer concerts get listed as programs in that system in order to have them on our rec site, but we do not take registrations for those. So those would be estimates of those programs. Community Day is another example. Well, actually, we do take registrations for Community Day through that site. But yeah, I can certainly put that together. I think what it would what would explain it best is the number of registrations for the programs that are on this budget that we're putting on there, and then the total number of programs too that are offered for free.
Do you think, Leslie, you would have been presenting this as a new line item if things hadn't gone the way they did last year? Because I'm just assuming
Yes.
you did a lot. It seems like you did a lot of free programs that weren't offset this year by paid programs.
Yeah, I think I would have been putting it into this budget line as well.
Right.
It's just it's a very tricky variable also, you know, in the budget process for those, you know, I mean, things change yearly with the rec department and the number of free programs you're offering, or you know, the number of programs that come out of this budget line. So yeah, I would have considered adding it into the budget this year as well, or you know, or a portion of it. And again, I do think that part of it should be covered by the program fees, you know, that we are collecting. So that's why I only put in for the, you know, a portion of it, the $2,000. You know, where on average, like Orla said, it can go as high as 5, but average is around 4.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, certainly, Suzanne, I can email that to you. The number of free programs that we offer that are on that system.
That are additional.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say it's additional. I'd say it's total, because we've never had them covered before. They've never been covered. And I'm asking them to be covered. So I'd say it's the total number.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Or are there any citizens that would like to comment on the recreation budget?
No, I think it looks fine the way it is.
All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Yep,
Thanks. Cindy.
thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
And now our assessor, Paul Hopkins.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Before we open this up, I don't think there's any citizens that would want to comment, but again, comment on each item. So, all right. Okay, do you want to?
So in reviewing the budget for this year, I tried to keep the amounts the same. I without any type of increase. What I did do was reallocate some of the things in some line items to others. For instance, you'll notice a fairly substantial decrease to travel. I even probably could go lower on that one. I don't expect that I'll be submitting any type of documents or reimbursements for travel. For travel within the town on doing permit and review work, I always try to use the town vehicle. I'd like to have that symbol on the side of the card while I'm out doing that type of work. I offset that to do some of the professional affiliations. We had only $100 in that line item. That barely covered the county association. So our county association's $25, which I'd like to have Maggie join that as well. It offers some nice local educational opportunities that really could benefit her in her growth in the office.
Mhm.
I'm part of the Connecticut Association, which is where I get a good wealth of information and involvement from a state level. I'm involved with many of our assessors legislative groups that really give us some pre-information on a lot of bills that may come through that impact the assessment field. Because we get asked, the legislative committee gets asked about proposed bills, and how that'll impact towns. So I do write on occasion testimony as far as how legislation could be impacting assessments. And then I'm also involved in the International Assessors Association, which right now is really the only avenue to get continuing ed credits. Most of the local state organization training has been all shut down. So in order to get recertified, I got to continue my international assessors group. So that way I can really get all those continuing ed credits that I need. Some of the one of the other increases is to the meetings. I do tend to try and go to as many organizational meetings that as I can. They're very informative. Not to mention, you know, all the contacts and information that you get from your fellow assessors. There's a fall, and it says and meeting, but it should say fall and spring. We have a fall and spring assessors association. There's a symposium meeting every year, which puts out all the newest legislation that's going on for all assessors to find out. There's a December county meeting and a once a year SPA, which is a Society of Professional Appraisers meeting that I like to attend. Training, I upped. The only reason I upped that is I do think that Maggie does need to go to as much training as she can this year. She's doing phenomenal, and her knowledge is growing on a daily basis. But she's getting all her information right now from me, which I personally think is wonderful. But I think when it comes to education, I think having the ability to learn from others, not just people who are trying to tutor or mentor you, but also peers that are learning at the same pace. Usually in the summertime, the first week of June is meant to have an assessor's training course, which usually is about $500 per person. So I was hoping to send Maggie to that this year. I don't know that we're going to be having it. I think it's going to be pushed back to the fall. So what I might like to do is use some of my international credits and get Maggie some online training through that. But that's why I did up that line slightly, just because I do think Maggie needs a little bit of broadening on her assessment knowledge. I brought the GIS number down a little bit. It looks like we only ever spend 5,980. I asked what the new number was going to be, and I haven't heard back from our GIS maintenance crew, so I did leave it at 6,200, but with the expectation that most likely we'll be spending another $5,980 on that contract. I decreased office supplies. It doesn't look like we ever get anywhere near $600. So I reduced it by $100. I could probably do with even less than that line item, but I didn't want to leave it as a huge reduction. Offset that by printing. I do a lot. So in the past, what we would do, and this may be something that corresponds to the Selectmen's office, is we did a lot of the contract printing out of the Selectmen's budget, I believe, or the technical budget. It's much cheaper if we do our own printing in-house. So for that additional $200 I put into that line item, I think we really could do a lot of the notice work, the personal property, the printing of the grand lists, a lot of these things that cost several $100s in and of themselves, with an additional $200 for basically paper, we could probably save the town $600 or $700 on the back end by doing those printings on our own. So books and periodicals, I raised $100 because it looks like we generally exceed the typical $700 that is budgeted. So I only raised that to compensate for the historic numbers that we're spending there. And in the end, it looks like from our expenditures section, it would be a 0 increase to the budget.
Right, any questions for Paul?
Well, looking at the budget, Paul. Yeah. Let's see. You're pretty accurate with the with your estimates. I'm just wondering, the office supplies, we've been averaging roughly $1.50 a year.
Yeah.
You know, and you put in for 5. With the average of $1.50, even if you went up to 2 or 2.50, you still should be within what your normal cost would be.
Yeah, and I was gonna go down lower, but 500 looked like it was a round number in that line item. But yeah, I would agree. It looks like, and from now that I've actually gotten through some of this, I noticed that a lot of our supplies that I would buy on a regular basis actually, like the paper that's supplied for printing and things like that, don't even come out of our budget. So I was trying to think of things that we would end up spending money on. We would need money for dividers and some folders and binders and things like that. So yeah, so I don't expect that we would ever really buy large quantities of supplies.
Yeah, so my suggestion, split it. You've been averaging $1.50, go up by 50, go to 2. And with the printing, we're averaging roughly 400 a year. And you propose 350. So if you go on the 2-year average, you'd be looking at the 400 in printing.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Is that what you'd like to propose, Paul?
Yeah, that's my rationale.
No, I was asking Paul, does he want us to change it so that's what he's proposing?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I have no concerns with that.
Okay, so we would ask Orla to change that?
Okay, so Paul, we're talking about the printing, right?
Yeah, so that would go up to 400.
So, okay.
And then office supplies down to 2. Was it 200?
I think that's what Kenny was proposing.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
200.
comfortable with, Paul?
And
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Paul, the NADA, have they finally come out with a online digital, or is that part of the hard copies as well?
So right now it's part of the hard copy. There are some of the books that are not available through their online system, and it's a lot of the older stuff that we still need the books for.
Yep.
But as part of our buying of the October edition, we get an online copy as well.
Okay.
Kenny, did you have any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I have a question for you, Paul. First, I want to say thank you very much for your help with the abatement, fire department abatement, EMS.
Oh, my pleasure.
I appreciate that. Are you proposing an increase to your clerk's hours from 30 hours to 35? Is that what I'm seeing?
That was actually, if you don't mind, Paul,
Sure.
Amy St. Ange. When Maggie was hired and we did the interviews, it was presented as a 35-hour-a-week position, mimicking the hours of the town hall. Unbeknownst to me, somehow slipped through the cracks that Claire was 30 hours a week. So,
Yeah, but there was a,
so it's not Paul recommending it. When we
Wasn't there a-
hired, that was what was presented to Maggie.
nope, that, I just wanted to understand it because it's different. So should that line item read 35 hours?
I think it does. Doesn't it?
Not on the
Am I
actual
looking at the
budget.
wrong thing?
Does now.
Does now?
Well, my sheet says that it does.
It says it
yes,
on the,
The first page is correct. The second page, the narrative,
not.
there just had to be changed.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see.
Thank you, Orla.
Yeah, no problem. I think what happened in this case was this position is a 35-hour position,
Right.
But the Claire, previous person in the position, chose to take an hour
For lunch.
unpaid every day for lunch.
Right.
So,
Made it a 30-hour position.
yeah, so it was basically
So
went
that-
from
It's
35.
just Paul and the assistant in that office, right? There's just the two of you, whereas
Just-
before, it looks like there had been somebody in training and, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
it's just-
Diana, and you had the person in training previous to that.
Yeah,
And some of the other hours are picked up by the floater out of the tax office
oh, that's right, I
Needed.
forgot, you have somebody that floats,
when needed.
yeah, but that works.
No,
Okay.
yeah, and I think look, good for us here in the office, good for the town. Maggie and I think work very well together. We've kind of worked out what duties each of us work with in the office, and you know, she's a great person to work with. So I think the office is well equipped with the two of us here.
Excellent.
Any other questions, comments, thoughts for Paul? Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Paul.
Bye now.
All right, so now, Orla, I had put finance down.
Yeah, I actually,
If you're not ready, that's okay. I just threw.
I didn't, I'm sorry.
No, I knew that you could present at any time, and on the initial budget review schedule, I just threw you in for that, just because, but it wasn't, you didn't have to. But you know what, we didn't, Kelly, and unfortunately, Leslie left, but did Recreation have a capital expenditure they want?
Oh, she did. She had Bull Hill. Oh, and actually, I'm sorry. So did Paul. Paul's is revaluation.
Oh, yes,
I can have both of them come back on.
yeah,
Just in reval, he's looking to change how we do reval. So
right. Do you want me to call Paul first?
yes,
Okay, let me see. Oh, I thought I had his phone number.
let me call and bear with me 1 second. Okay, I just spoke with Marie. She's going to call up to Paul, and I just texted Leslie.
Okay, great. Thanks, Orla.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry about that. I should have been looking at my schedule better.
Sorry, me too.
Oh,
Let me share their capital document.
okay, great. Oh, Paul's here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Paul. Orla's putting up your,
I definitely do that. I'll get that over to you, Nick. Okay, you have a great afternoon. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Paul, do you want to talk to us about this?
Sure. So this is in regards to the reval contract. So it was my suggestion to not go with the NECOG contract. We could go out on our own and do a significant savings. So right now, the NECOG contract is a little over $26 a parcel. The last reval I did in Killingly, which has about 900 additional parcels, was only $90,000. And that reval came out very, very well relative to the sales statistics. So that's what this is looking at. So I'm looking, with a projection, and even prior to that, the reval that I did in Ledger prior to the Killingly reval was rated about $100,000. So by going out onto our own, we could save a significant amount of money. And that's where that $100,000 comes in. That looks like what most likely we'll need to conduct that next reval. I'm hoping to even have a little bit better savings on that. So typically, the statutes have changed in the last 10 years to allow us to kind of not send a mass reval crew out into the town and review every parcel. Mm-hmm. The state statutes have changed that way. We can do two things. We can stagger our home inspections over a 10-year period, and we can use data mailers. So what that means is, what I've set up now is a schedule that I go out to so many homes every year leading up to the next reval, which will cover us statutorily for the inspections that we have to do on homes, and we don't have to have a company come in and descend on our town to do those inspections. We're doing them in-house and we're taking care of them here. The other avenue that we can use is data mailers. And what we do is we send out a notice to the homeowners saying, just to verify basically what their information is. So with these other avenues that we have, we can save ourselves a considerable amount of money relative to how revals have been conducted in the past. So this capital expenditure that we have here will prep us for the next reval in 2024.
I'm trying to remember, what was the cost of the last reval that we conducted?
So that one, I believe it was about $168,000.
Okay.
If memory serves me right.
So it's actually 153,000 spread over the 5 years.
Okay.
Okay. And Paul, the data mailer,
Mm-hmm.
still projected if we if we had to go that route for some of the properties, it's still projected to cost us the 100,000.
Yes. So like I said, the last reval I conducted in Killingly cost me just about 90. The reval I did prior to that, which was my town was Ledgered, I did for 100. Okay. And with that $100,000, I got a lot of extra work done. I got some permitting work done. I got town wide aerial photographing. So I think going out on our own will potentially be a fairly significant savings for the town.
Yep. We like to hear that. This is great.
Absolutely. Paul, can I ask you a question? If memory serves me correct, we do part of the town, we don't do the whole town at once when we do a reeval, right?
So how the contract was written with NECOG is that half the town was done, and then in 5 years, the next half of the town would be done. So what you would do is you would have, the reval company send 2 or 3 data collectors into the town, and they would go to the 50% of the houses that would need to be inspected. What I'm doing, as opposed to having the those people come in every 5 years and review half the town. I have an ongoing cycle. So all the houses that take a permit, so I'm already going out to those. So those by statute have, or once I review those properties for the permit work, that meets the requirement to have the inspection. And then for all the other properties, I put them on a review schedule. So that way everybody has met, the town meets its statutory obligation to physically inspect every house over a 10-year span. The one thing about doing it this way is you don't get, you're staggering them. So you don't get a town-wide group coming in every 4 or 5 years to look at the houses. You're kind of keeping an updated movement of the properties on a regular basis, which I think in the long run is a little bit more accurate than, just updating. Well, because it's 50%, so every house would only get updated every 10 years, basically. As opposed to now, we'll have it more of a rolling, more modified on a regular basis.
Right, and it's ongoing, so we don't have that surge in the budget or that the income, it doesn't affect individuals, half the town all at once, right?
Mhm. Well, no, so they're only going out to review half the towns, but all the houses get valued. So, but what happens is so you have 50% of the town that is accurate, and then 50% of the town that may not be accurate. So
Right.
there's a little bit of inconsistency there. My feeling is keep it rolling on a year-to-year basis. Try and keep the information as fresh and as updated as possible. But every reval, every house gets a new value assessed to it.
Okay, well, that works. I like how organized you are.
Paul, how does it work with, if you send out a data
Mailer?
update to the property owner,
Yeah.
they're going, you're sending it out, is this accurate? But if you've got people that have done upgrades,
Mhm.
how are you going to catch that? Because people are going to try and save wherever they can. I mean, we get information from the
Yeah.
building office when they do a building permit for various projects, but there is a lot of stuff that goes on. And when you do
Yeah.
get out there
Oh,
physically,
definitely.
then you see some of, what some of the upgrades are.
Oh, definitely. So what we do, so this is something I do slightly different than the reval companies. So the reval companies have a standard form and they use the data. So they'll send out a data mailer with completed information that'll say bedroom count 3, bathroom count 2 full, 1 half, vinyl siding, something like that. My data mailer goes out blank. So it's a fill-in. So it says bedroom count, please provide the number of bedrooms. Bathroom count, please provide the number of 3 fixture baths. Please provide the number of 2 fixture baths. And what we do is, so once those come back, we then review every data mailer that comes through for accuracy. And if that information matches what they're providing, matches what we have, and we also ask for outbuilding information and accessory building information. If everything matches, then we're good with that. If we see anything that doesn't look quite right, then that one is pulled and we go out and do a physical inspection on that house.
Okay.
So if in our system it says 1 bath, 1 full bath, 1 half bath, and they submit theirs back that says 2 full baths, 1 half bath, that one will be pulled and a physical review of that property will be done. As opposed to, because it's much easier if we just provide the information and ask them to sign it. You skim through it and you sign it. Whereas when you actually have to sit there and actually fill out box by box, I think we get a little bit better information that way.
So you do this, you go out on it throughout the whole year.
Correct. So I've already, I forget, this year I went out and did something like 300, and just since June, I've gone out to 340 homes.
Any other questions for Paul on this capital expense?
Hey, if it'll save us money and give us the numbers we need, I'm all for it.
Me too.
And I definitely, I like the fact that it's rolling. It's constantly updating. That's great.
I do too.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
And now I think Leslie wanted to present capital request 2. It's something we talked about the other night.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. It was sort of added on
Right.
last minute. So so I did at Amy's request put the Bull Hill recreation area capital request back in just so it stays on all of our minds and sort of in the forefront. And I know at the last Board of Selectmen meeting, this group, charged the building committee with taking on that project. And I certainly look forward to assisting in whatever way I can with that. So I did just take last year's capital request and just resubmit the same capital request. I do agree that we may not be, last year, I think this committee voted to postpone that 1 year to do some research, which this year did not really allow for that. But I did just want to keep it on, out there as knowing that that's an ongoing request and need.
And Leslie, I agree. I mean, I thought I brought it to your attention last week because I really thought it was important to keep it on our radar. I did, on another note, but regarding this, I did reach out to Rich Roberts. I told him the situation of the parcels potentially being donated to Wyndham Land Trust. And he's working directly with Steve Adams on some type of an agreement to give us some type of rights should they acquire the 117-acre parcel near the Bull Hill soccer field. So I have a big vision for it. It seems bigger than it's possible, but dream big. So
Until you try.
yep.
So I did, and I do. We'll be reaching out to the building committee, and hopefully starting this process and seeing how it unfolds in the next couple of months and years. It was a big project.
Suzanne, I had gotten your text, but I got it late in regard to the charge. I sent over, it's supposed to be on their agenda tomorrow night, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Specific as to whether you want them to just look into Bull Hill, or do you want them to look into keeping the track there? It needs to be specific as well.
Okay, right.
I was told.
Okay.
That was all. And
Well, I planned on attending the meeting, so.
Okay.
Yeah, not tomorrow night. I'm sorry, it's Wednesday night. Oh, no, I can't attend the meeting. We have workshops on Wednesday night. I don't know. We'll get it done. I'll revise my letter and make it a little bit more specific. Is there any questions for Leslie at this time on this? Any citizens in the audience? I don't see any. Any thoughts?
No, we all know what the need is up there,
Right.
so.
Okay.
I'm going a long time with this, so we all know about this.
Okay.
It's been years in the making.
Right.
And hopefully, like Suzanne was saying, it's hopefully the guidance of the building committee, and their experience and their knowledge, will really, I think, help to push it forward. Parks are a tricky thing because although the rec department here utilizes them for programs, they're really fall under, DPW as far as budget wise and maintenance wise. So it's a collaborative effort. So this is one of those projects that I think will really involve a lot of moving parts and a lot of different departments, and seeing it through.
Right.
I agree, but it's definitely worth investigating, I think, and only enhances the value of our town.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you for putting that in too.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. Bye
Thank-
again.
Bye.
Carla, do we have copies of these in what you had sent us?
It's in the email.
Is it in the second email, the newest email?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, because I printed out the email
Yeah, because I just
First one that we
downloaded it.
received
so
on
it's
Friday,
here.
I think it was.
The one that I sent this morning, I believe, has 4 documents.
Yep.
Okay.
And one of them, the first one
The
is
other
the
day
reply.
doesn't, does it?
What was that, Suzanne?
The one that went out the other day didn't have them, the
Nope,
capital.
it didn't, no.
Okay, okay. I was looking for them and I thought maybe I missed them.
No problem. So I'll go back to the other document. Okay, so what is next?
All right. It's got to get better light on the subject. So first selectman, let's see. Yes, first selectman budget.
This is really you and Marie, Amy, right?
Right. So, I really wish I had better light in my house. Like hard time reading everything. All right, so you'll see an increase to Marie's wages. But there's something that I had touched upon that isn't in here. I am making a proposal working with Melinda Smith to potentially hire a joint human resources director for both the school and the town. It was something we've been discussing, thinking about, because the duties of human resources seems to be spread out amongst many, many people around the town. So that's not reflected here. So that would involve eliminating the second assistant in the office of selectmen, and taking away the duties of burst personnel from Marie and having her focus entirely being on the executive assistant. Again, it's a proposal I made, not reflected in these sheets. Aside from that, let's see. I suggested if we go that route, that we would have some extra time potentially, or some overtime that might be required to do the job of assistant, executive assistant. We did not make any changes to the recording secretary salary. And I believe, let's see, travel, we kept everything pretty much status quo in the whole entire budget.
Well, there's a lot of unanswered questions if you're going to eliminate one of the people in the selectman's office to be able to have coverage, the amount of work that's there. We're going to have to explore that a lot more and especially with the human resources, the split of what it would cost us to do that. I mean, the number of employees between the school and the town are, 3 to 1 or, whatever it is. So, it's got to make sense. I mean, that's not something that would be, even if we went that way, that it would be a 50-50 split. It just
Right.
doesn't add up. So that's all got to be looked at. We've got time to look at that, and we definitely need how are we going to adequately staff the selectman's office, because it is a moving target depending on the day, the atmosphere. The work can be completely, whatever you plan for the day, it can go south in a hurry, and you just get, there's never enough hours in the day. So.
No, it depends on how you manage your time. So.
Amy, I apologize. The oil man came, the dog was going nuts. I missed the very beginning of your explanation of the budget. Am I seeing that you're reducing the selectman's salary? And I heard you say something about splitting an HR person with the school.
Correct.
Are you eliminating a position in the town, in your office?
it would be potentially,
I'm sorry?
potentially moving Kelly over to be the assistant for the Public Works Director at a 24-hour-a-week position in its entirety.
So you're bringing in
What's that?
half, so you would be sharing the HR person, and currently that is part of Marie's responsibilities, so she would pick up Kelly's and you'd have a part-time. So you're not really reducing the number of people in that office.
Well, Kelly would be eliminated, but some of the job duties that are held within the office would be eliminated. Potentially.
Right, but then Marie would do just selectman duties, not HR, and you would have somebody wherever that person is located doing HR.
Correct.
And then Kelly would reallocate her time over to, that would be an increase.
Solely be focused on public works. Recently, we had an OSHA inspection, and OSHA was kind of surprised that Rich did not have an assistant full-time to oversee a lot of the safety data sheets, et cetera. A lot of those pieces were missing, and it was a recommendation at the time. But besides that, when you think about it,
But I applaud, I love the forward thinking that you're using in combining the efforts with the school. I really, really think that is fabulous. I mean, why create the wheel and have two separate positions? It just makes so much, it's a lot more cost effective. So I love that idea.
it's cost effective, but it will bring an additional expense.
May I
Will
ask,
it bring efficiency? It will bring efficiency. We'll use the labor attorneys a lot less on the school side because somebody will be focused on human source law. Cindy, did you have something you wanted to?
I would just, where would this HR person be posted? Would it be at the school or at the town? Where will she be?
They would be posted at the school the majority of the time, but also would have space in the town hall for any work that they needed to do at the town hall side. And that would potentially be Kelly's office currently.
Would it be so many hours at one place and so many hours at another place?
Yeah, I mean, but generally because everything's computerized and everything would be centrally located, most likely they'd be in the same office as the superintendent's office.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you for asking.
And why have you put reduced the first selectmen's but by 10,000?
Well, that's a long story. Back in the budget season, when we said that we'd extend the contract, the current contract this year, if you recall, it was going to require a 2% increase. Because the way the contract was written, if we extended it, then we'd extend a 2% raise again. So in order to find money to cover that, I relinquished that much. And Rich gave up his summer $10,000 of summer help, and that defrayed the cost of the 2% increase.
Contract, okay, right, okay. Okay.
So it's quiet. It's not something I really wanted to expound upon. I just wanted to keep it quiet.
And Amy, I noticed that you put in 4% for the executive assistant.
Right. Well, first of all, knowing that
What?
if my intent came to fruition, there'd be full responsibility of being the executive assistant on that person. But additionally, what my thought was that person's salary would trend with the highest union paid clerks within the town hall. So their salary would track with theirs. So it would track with the tax collector, the tax clerks. Does that make sense?
Yes and no, because usually we do increases.
But this was all supposed to be part of my proposition, my proposal, but only part of my proposal got put on this spreadsheet. So,
Salaries, we always tackle
and we certainly still can.
at the very end of the budget process.
Right, that's where I was going with that, Ken.
Yeah.
So we don't need to decide anything now. I'm just letting the board know that was my intention. It was my intention to pull some duties away, have another spot for human resources, which we've just yet to work out.
Yeah, I think Suzanne and I need a little bit more information.
No, no,
With what-
absolutely.
And it sounds like, Ken, it might be a little work in progress too, like trying to nail it down before it's kind of a finalized thing. Am I correct, Amy?
Right, I'd say we'd be able to do that with the next few weeks. Melinda and I talked potentially of going out to hire, if all goes well, in June. She feels strongly that she won't have to use her union, not her union, her labor attorney as much as she does currently, which would be a large cost savings for them. Potentially, we were anticipating that the salary for that person would be $60,000. That was gathered from information from various towns, including Brooklyn, who recently hired a human resources director at that salary rate. So then it's just a matter of differentiating, well, how much does the town reimburse? How much is the town obligated for? And that'll take, sitting down with Bob and Orla to maybe help navigate through that.
Because I wouldn't think it would be reimbursed. I would think it would be allocated to your budget for say it's a 15-hour position on your side and 25 on the school side. I would think it would read something like that. Ken, maybe you could help me on that one.
Oh, it would have to be prorated no matter what.
But I mean, I would think it would appear in the selectmen's budget as well as the school budget.
So that's what I believe Amy is anticipating, Suzanne. What she's referring to is we're two separate entities, we're two tax IDs. So if you have a full-time position who's eligible for benefits, you need to determine which entity they're actually, in theory, working for. So we would have a line item to reimburse the school for our portion of the position, if they choose to have that person on the payroll at the school. If they choose to have the person on the payroll at the town, the school would have a reimbursement line.
Because of the,
So they would only put in for a certain percentage of that position, as well as the town would have a line to put in for a certain percentage, correct? It's not going to appear in both budgets for the full salary.
right,
No, it will not.
That's what I'm trying to get at. It's going to appear on the selectmen's budget for part of the salary and the school.
very, very similar, I think, anyways, Orla, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, very similar to what we do with the security.
That is correct.
Okay, okay. And Amy, have you found other towns? Did you say that you've talked to other towns that do this?
We've spoken with Brooklyn, who recently hired, and I know Melinda from her past experience. The majority of school systems, when you're talking about 100 plus staffers, the majority of them have human resource directors completely dedicated to overseeing HR.
Absolutely. And my question is, how do they post it? I mean, do they do it that way where a percentage is out of the town? Because we're actually one employer when you think about it. The school always appears to be one employer and the town another employer, but we're a town employing people. So how does that?
Well, like Orla said, if we have different ID numbers, is that correct, Orla? Is that what
That is correct, but Brooklyn is a little bit different. They don't have separate town and board of ed. It's, as you know, it's a small school district.
Right.
So their services, their finance services, they have one group. They have one group of finance people who manage the finances for both the school and the board of ed.
Okay.
So I'm not sure whether they even use separate tax IDs.
Really?
Yeah, but they have their budget is, it is separated out, but it's a combined budget. It's already a combined budget.
Right.
And the person who, like, for example, their tax director works for the superintendent, but also reports to the first selectman.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Orla, is it possible to get a copy of their budget so I can see what that looks like?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's on their website. If not, I can get it from the superintendent because I know her well.
I would like to see how that looks, just
Sure.
out of curiosity. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so aside from that, forgive me, I don't have I can't see. I didn't prep well enough for this.
Again, no matter what, we need more information.
Right. Happy to get it to you by next week.
Amy,
Is there any other questions on this?
our recording secretary, any idea how many hours she spends a week?
I don't know that.
So she gets paid per meeting, not per month.
Right.
Yes.
I'm just wondering how many hours a week she spends.
I think you would have to ask Dottie.
I think you're right.
You know, Marie's done a lot of work on this in the past. I'm not sure whether Marie's on the call. You're on the call, right, Marie?
Actually, I can probably answer that question from the selectmen's budget. Basically, is all the agenda and all the preparation is handled in this office. So what Dottie does is she attends the meeting to take notes and gets the recording and does the minutes. So I think that's why actually, I don't even know how many hours are listed there. Let's see, number of pays.
It says 24, so because it's twice a.
Yeah,
Two
twice a
meetings
month.
Right.
And so she's, so if
she
she died
attends
like
meetings,
4.
She doesn't do the agenda and she does the minutes. Does she post them?
Yes.
Got it.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Cynthia here, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
If there's a cancellation of, happens to be a cancellation of a meeting, is the recording secretary paid?
What was that? I'm sorry.
If there happens to be a cancellation for whatever reason of the meeting, is the recording secretary paid?
No, they're not paid if there's no meeting held.
It depends because some of the departments, if they've posted, if they've written the agenda and posted it, then some of them do get paid.
Okay,
Well, some of them are also based on a monthly rate versus a meeting rate.
And some, exactly. So they're all different.
all right.
All I
Okay.
can say is, I think every year we wrestle.
Yep, you're right. And
With
I just, you know what? I just really want to look at it closer to see.
But I don't know that it can be completely straight across the
It's
board. I
not
think
going
that
to be.
every single
Not
year.
gonna be, but it just
Under
seems
law.
like it's, you know, so far apart with some of them.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could just add a quick note to that, I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but I actually did do a comparison of all of the recording secretaries and what they get paid and estimating hours of each meeting so that, and there was discussion of going to where everybody is the same, basically. Anyway, so that information's there if anybody does want it. It would have to be updated for this year.
I don't want to go that in depth. I just want to make sure that people are getting paid what they should be getting paid kind of thing and I remember when you did that too. So just looking at it a little bit closer because some of them get nickels and dimes and maybe they don't do just enough to earn more than that, but some get much higher.
And hey, Marie, refresh my memory. When we were looking over this and we looked at advertising, we thought to increase it because of advertising costs that you had noticed recently, or we'd increase it from 4,200 to 800 by 800 to 5,000.
We took it to 5,000.
So 4,200 was last year's budget.
Right.
I think that's where it came from.
By
But
100.
It was.
I'm just trying to remember the reasoning.
Well, if you average out the 19 and 20, those 2
Right.
years, you're looking at 48 4,800 a year.
Right.
So the 5,000 is within the range with the
Oh, yeah, I
additional
know.
cost.
I mean, it's just, I like to have a reason why that was there and I'm just not seeing it in the notes. Legal public hearings, bids, personnel. We have a few more bids going out. Is that what we were thinking?
It's possible.
Yeah. So,
And maybe we were buffering, adding to it based on the number of referendums we typically have for budget.
yeah. Okay. All right, any other thoughts on the first selectman's budget? Okay, so we will move on to data processing, now called IT services and supplies.
Yep, I can jump in on that.
Great, thanks, Marie.
You're welcome. So I'll just go down the order of where things are. So we left supplies where it is. And basically the reason it might look high to you is that all of the paper that we use is from there, all of the replacement printer cartridges are from there. If we have to order parts for something, it comes out of there. And then the printing of the grand list, getting the W-2s and 1099 forms, all of that is in that category. So we're just leaving that flat right now.
Right.
As far as training, let's see, we're the same as this year, basically. And that allows us to get training in some of the specific items, such as Excel, so that people can, advance in their knowledge of that and use it more effectively. So that's where that sits. For professional services, let's see, professional services. Sorry. We've used that line item for paying for Zoom when we brought Savage Systems in to help us with being able to work from home. That fell out of there. And then any assistance from the school thus far for technical stuff comes out of that line. And of course, that'll change if we end up joining with the school on IT. That will move to a different line item. The maintenance agreement right now, that includes system solutions. Let's see, where is that line item? It includes host data, our email host. It includes the Munis financial system. It includes quality. And I'm not sure if Paul spoke about that or not, but the information that's in here about a potential upgrade, he's seeing that not happening this coming fiscal year, but most likely the year after that. And then we do have to participate in budget transparency. So that piece is also a part of this. And I believe you get some backup on that from ClearGov and then some of the other quality fees. The website, we're in the fourth, this will be the 4th of 5 years for the website. And then we will be able to do some redesign work and we'll see what the prices are, but we're still okay for the next couple of years. Let's see. For software, we do software upgrades. Okay. So for software, if somebody needs to have publisher added because they're now doing a lot more, like if Rec did, because they're doing more flyers and ads and the stuff where you need a little more creativity, publisher is really good for that. We need PDF converter is phenomenal, because if I get something in that is emailed to me and doesn't allow me to make any changes, I can convert it from PDF to a Word document, and then I can get in and edit it so that it saves some time from having to basically retype the entire thing. Software upgrade, that's something that Chris Nelson has been working on, and I spoke to him and he said that there was one left to do. We're hoping it gets done in this fiscal year, but we put in the $100 for next fiscal year. Let's see. And do you have any questions?
Yeah, Marie, on the software upgrade
Mhm.
at $100, what
Mhm.
are you is that just a placeholder?
I don't believe so. I think that was for the one unit that was left. Although I could be wrong. Orla, do you recall?
So,
'Cause he's still doing them.
so he is still doing them, and it is approximately $100 per unit, but we also did suggest we'd leave it in as a placeholder for any potential, any other specific software upgrade that we're not, that we're not aware of right now. So, so it's a little bit of both.
So since we're in this, just to give the selectmen an update, additionally, we've been working so well with the school as far as them being able to help us with things that Systems Solutions has not been able to help us with. As Marie had mentioned, we actually had to call Savage Systems in to help us work from home. These are things that the school IT department would have been very fluid in helping us with. My intention, what I would like to see happen is for us to entirely use the school's IT department to help bring us into the 21st century, because we're still lagging behind in many areas. It was something I noted right from the get-go, but it's a tough call because Systems Solution has been so dedicated, and they're always there when we need them. So it's a very difficult decision, but I think it's what's going to be best to share services, because not only do I think that we'll get more up-to-date IT support, things like software and things like that will be able to fall under the school's licensing, which is a cost savings in itself as well. So that I'm going to have more information tomorrow. I'm meeting with the IT department, Heather Burns, as well as the Connecticut Education Network. It's an internet service that the school uses that will increase our bandwidth at Town Hall so that we'll be able to do live streaming meetings right from the Merrill Sine room. Currently, we can't do that because the signal just isn't strong enough. So again, it's fluid, it's moving, but things are coming together, and I will definitely have more information by our meeting on Wednesday. So I'll be happy to update, but the cost should be less than what things are costing us now in IT if we make that move. So I'll have more information by Wednesday.
Yeah, my biggest concern, and it's great because we started working with the school as best as we could when Heather first came on, and she was doing a lot of upgrades up there. But the school is out for a couple months of the year, and like you said, somebody, whether it's a Savage or a System Solution, they're usually on beck and call 24/7. So we just have to make sure that we have the appropriate coverage, because the town works, all 52 weeks.
Right.
Versus
And
the school
vacation
doesn't.
and snow days. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things I'm bringing up with Heather tomorrow, Ken. So I'm glad you said that. On the night of the last well, not this past snowstorm, the previous snowstorm, that Monday, I got a text at night from Steve Benoit telling me the emails were down. And so I messaged Heather and I says, hey, we need to talk, because I want to make sure that in cases like this, somebody's going to be there to help the town out. So if Steve Benoit can't get on his emails, we'll have someone there that can dial in and fix it. So yeah, it's definitely a big concern and something I am thinking about.
I
So
don't want to swear to it, but I thought the IT worked in the summer.
They do work, but the problem is they work less hours.
right.
So, they're out of there by 2:00, whereas we
They're
work.
not union, right?
What was that?
The IT at the school, are they union?
I don't believe they are.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
So, I mean, you can always work with them.
Right.
Yeah, we just got to, whatever direction we go, we just got to make sure that we get the 24/7 coverage,
Exactly.
because the variety of, the town hall is open, almost round the clock because of, Steve Benoit, the emergency management, committee meetings. There's a variety of things. And And a lot more of us with the COVID are work, our people are working from home as well. So
And whenever
those are things that got to get looked at. The only other thing, Marie, the question that I was going to have with you for the software, we've been fortunate the last few years of being able to buy Windows Office, etc., where we were buying the license. That is slowly going over to subscription base.
Yes.
Has that been factored into your cost?
Uh,
Essentially, yes, you're right.
yes, Chris Nelson did forward me which ones are annual and which ones were a one-time purchase.
Yep.
I'm just going to quickly double check here for software.
'Cause I know the stuff of Windows Office is now subscription based, yearly cost. Going forward, once you're out of the licenses. I mean, even my Windows Office, which goes back to 07, I mean, it works, but you're looking at a program that's 14 years old now, and they do change. And with the different upgrading to Windows 8, some of those other ones are slowly becoming obsolete and not compatible. So
Yeah,
it is a cost.
I'm actually puzzled. I just got his email today, but it looks like the ones that he's talking about, which is Office, Home and Business, is a one-time payment of $189. Windows Pro is a one-time payment of $120, and Adobe and PDF, it's a yearly.
That sounds right, Marie, because
Yeah.
one of the versions of Office that Chris has been downloading onto newer machines
Mhm.
is the home and business version, not necessarily the commercial, because not everybody uses all the different parts of the application. And I think some of those are still one time.
Yep.
No, correct.
And
Oops, go ahead, Marie. I'm sorry.
I think I remember somebody saying that I thought the school was able to do an umbrella, sort of an umbrella purchase that reached a lot more people. Is that something that that you've heard anything about, Amy?
We very much would fall under, their subscription, or we could potentially fall under their subscription. Additionally, those yearly fees that you're seeing in like Office 360 and things like that, it's generally because it's cloud-based. I believe anyways, that's the way I understand those yearly fees for Office is generally because it's cloud-based. It's not just an installed program. And I think the town hall, we have all just installed programs.
Yeah, we do, but Microsoft was trying to work away from that.
Right, for the cloud-based, but that's a subscription. I think the one-time payment is installed.
Right. I don't think they've done away with that yet. Will they in the future?
If it makes them a buck, I'm sure they will.
True.
Yeah, it's all it's all revenue generating. So
Yeah, and I bet that you're correct, Amy, with the school, that there would be significant savings because we would be able to fall under their subscription, which is probably has some financial benefits to it just because they're a school.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions?
While we move on to town hall. I think that's what's next. All right. So we'll move on to town hall municipal building. Orla, did you change anything on these lines in the recent one that you sent to us today?
Oh, no, I think we're good. Yeah, the only one that I changed was the recreation, and by mistake I deleted that line about putting the additional portion of the software in. That's why I had to resend it to you guys today.
Okay.
No, I think this is good. This is the same as what I sent you on Friday.
Okay, and what we did was we used to have it split between evening custodian and building maintainer. Now we just have the maintainer custodian, correct? That's different from last year, right?
Yeah, that's the one that we're proposing. So what I did was I took the current rate for both the current rate that we're paying the evening custodian and the building maintainer, and averaged it out at 17.50 an hour.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah, putting it under one umbrella is the right thing to do.
Orla, is that what we've been paying, Pete? Sorry.
yeah, we've been paying him, the building maintainer rate, we've been paying him a 16.91. I don't have my calculator, of course, handy, but the one that we were paying for evening custodian was more than that. It was $18, I think. So when I put them together, it averaged at 17.47. I just rounded it to 17.50.
Okay.
So, and he's doing, the thing is, some weeks he does 5 of one and 7 of the other, or vice versa.
Right.
You know, what I suggested in here is up to a maximum of 19.5.
Okay. And the truth is, I mean, Pete really works diligently, and I just know this morning he had a tough time this morning with the machine that the plow that, or not plow, but the snow blower that broke down, and yeah, so he had a tough time this morning.
So he's currently getting 1691 and you're proposing an increase to 1950?
No, he is
Okay.
currently doing both roles.
Sorry.
So one role is being paid at 16.91. The other role is being paid at yikes. Might have
At
it in-
18, is that what you
So
said?
he's getting
Yes,
two.
18. So what we're proposing is merging both positions together and giving him an average of the 2 rates.
He does a fantastic job.
That's just to streamline it, right, Orla? Just
So
to,
how many hours does he do at the 1691? Is that 15?
He can do up to 15.
And how many, and what is the other pay? I know you said it, 1750? No.
No,
18.
18.
And how many hours does he do at 18?
So I'm sorry, I'm talking for you, Amy and Marie,
no,
but,
that's okay.
but in theory, what we do is you say you can work up to 19.5 hours within the 2 roles.
So up to 4.5 hours. I'm just wondering if he actually benefits doing it that way.
Well, some weeks he will and some weeks he won't. It just,
Turns out, what have we spent on that line item?
so what we've spent through the end of December on evening custodian, we've spent $52.36.
All right.
All right, so Marie, I'm gonna call on you again on this because I think you and Orla sat down and looked over everything.
Okay. So we're just going to go down from there.
Yeah.
For travel, that's primarily reimbursing Pete for when he has to get stuff. He has to take his own vehicle because it's a truck and the little SUV is not going to work for him. The cleaning services, we expect, if I'm remembering correctly, that the second floor carpets are going to need to be cleaned, and that's what that money is for. Telephone remains the same. The postage, the only thing we did that made postage go up is that the postage meter was actually in a different line item and should be up in postage. So we just flipped that up there.
Can you just circle back though, because
Oh.
it's looking like the telephone was increased, and that's
So the telephone is increased because I understated the amount it should be for the budget.
okay.
Last year's, it was 20,000.
Yeah.
Budgeted 18.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing with regards to the telephone service, because included in there is the cost of our internet for the town hall. And,
Right.
you know, I know there's a lot of discussion, Amy, and you're meeting with Heather and her staff. So that was just a ballpark. I mean, we can certainly, that's a moving target based on what happens with your discussions.
So the telephone isn't for the telephone service.
It
Like,
Internet.
includes the internet too, because we have voice over IP.
okay,
The charter bill is required for us to use the telephone service.
And there's no way to separate that, is there?
Oh, yeah, there would be. Depends what we determine we're going to do with telephone. I know
Well,
with
if we should
looking
have
into
that as
the,
2 separate line items.
I'm sorry, what was that question,
I wonder
Suzanne?
if we should have it as two separate line items. Telephone and internet are two separate things. And that way it would be easy to,
So as I said, most likely we will, because if potentially we go down the road with the Send network, that's for our internet, it's not for our telephone. So naturally, we will end up having to separate them out. But for the last 5 years, they have been a combined, because as I say, the charter, the $700 that we pay to charter every month, it includes internet access. It gives us internet access, but also gives us voice over IP for telephone service.
so what I'm suggesting is that we separate it out in this budget to show the difference. And that way it will be easy to understand if there's savings or not, if we're working with the town. With the
No,
school.
with the school, there will, I believe there will be savings regardless.
I do
but
too,
yes, I see.
But I
what you
think
mean.
it gives a better visual effect, don't you?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Amy and Ken?
When is our contract up with the telephone?
It's actually up. We're on a month-to-month right now.
Okay,
So it's good timing.
Good.
perfect, because I think we were under a 5-year contract, if I remember.
Yeah, it expired in September 2020.
Okay.
And postage meter, oh, there was an increase in the, was there an increase in the postage?
Yes, there was.
All right. Electricity, we're anticipating staying the same.
I got to redo that. Actually, that'll be a bigger discussion I'm having with the Board of Selectmen, because we're going out our
Yeah.
1-year contract with, for power, through CCM, through that third-party agency, through CCM, is up in March.
Okay.
So, you know, we're part of the consortium with CCM. I'm looking to do the same again, and I'll be coming back to you guys as a Board of Selectmen to give you some ideas of what rates we have available and what terms, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, I'm not sure where that's going to land, but at the moment, I'm just going to leave it as is for the moment.
Okay.
Marie, decrease in service contracts?
Yep, I believe right now it's only going to be including the elevator that
Okay.
we have to deal with. I think some of the other items were moved out of that line and into another line where they should have been to begin with.
Yeah, the postage meter moved.
Okay. Oh, that moved up to the postage meter.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So that's not taking into consideration the increase in rates, or is it?
No, I think it's reasonable. I think 20,000 is reasonable anyway, because if you look at our trend,
The history isn't that high.
it's not. The only reason we had it so high in fiscal 1920 is because we did multiple buildings because of the late budget passing. We ended up issuing bills again, you know, property tax bills again in January, and we had much more billing than we typically would have. But if you look at the trend, it trends it trends about 18 or 19 grand.
Right. Okay.
And the fuel cost are for heating, that's a pretty solid number.
It is a solid number, and I left it the same at the moment, but I have to redo it. I have to take a look at it again.
Oh, we went out to bid on that anyway.
Right, that's why I'm asking if that should be a pretty solid number. It's a
Yeah,
500.
because we guaranteed X number of gallons when we signed into the contract.
We did, yep.
All right.
Building maintenance is a 2,500 increase. What are we anticipating that we still need to repair or maintenance?
let's see.
I mean, 18, 19, 19, 20, you know, we spent 36 grand, and it went, you know, down to 10. Now we're going back up by 25.
I don't think there's anything specific, Marie. I think it was just general, right? General based on what we're seeing as, you know, current year to date is 5 grand, but that's only through the end of December.
Yeah, we still got 6 months.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a purchase, yeah. So the key card system, actually, I think that's already included. But the sorts of things that get done are like the flooring had to be done in the town clerk's vault. You know, other things that get tossed in there are, you know, the fire extinguishers and the shed that Pete needed. So I think we're just sort of estimating the same sorts of things are going to happen without there being one major project that
Okay.
is
So
that
it's a
huge
bunch of
amount of
little
money.
things.
Yeah.
Bunch of little, okay.
Let's see, exterminating, they're just going up in price. The copier leases, I met with 3 different companies or worked with 3 different companies. We ended up getting a better price than we had last year for new machines that'll be coming in. So that 7,500 reflects that.
Who are we going with?
Rico,
And we were with before?
Rico.
Okay. So they outdid themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah, by a long shot. The people that the school use was also very good, but that was the best price he could give me was not as good as Rico. And the people that we work with Rico, they know us, we know them. We've never had any problems, so it was sort of a no-brainer well, not a no-brainer, but it
Well,
worked to
they
go
got-
back with them.
Yeah, they got the track history of how our machines have performed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they'll be coming in and doing training with everybody.
Is that a 5-year or a 3-year?
It's a 5-year. Boy, that's a good question. I don't know why I don't remember it.
I think it's 5 years.
I think it's 5. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
For water sewer charges, I spoke with Dave and he said that charges are not going up. So we left that where it was. As far as the office supplies, da, da, da. I mean, it's all miscellaneous things. We buy batteries. We did general office supplies for the
How much
for
have
the
we
town
spent?
hall. So there are things that we use specifically in the selectman's office that come from that office supply line item, but it's stuff for everybody in town hall, or that will be used by everybody in town hall that fall under this category.
Where are we to date on that expense through the last
400 and change.
400 and change?
Yeah,
With 5 months to go or 6? Yeah.
yeah.
Because we're looking at 18 and 31.
Well, we usually take 30 days on any of these kind of supplies. So in reality, if we're paying bills at the moment, it's probably through the end of the first week in January. So we're talking 6 months.
No, I'm just wondering if you're cutting yourself, you're going to end up with a shortage. You know, projecting out when you're looking at 1,800 and 3,200. You know,
Well, the 3,200 actually can, so that includes COVID expenses. So, you know, the money that's coming in for COVID now,
Yeah.
some of it relates to last fiscal year. So that office supply line does include COVID stuff.
Okay.
And the custodial supplies are basically everything Pete needs to keep the building looking good or
Yep.
fixing things.
Any
Any
questions about those items?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Moving on to, employee assistance program. Do we have anything for that?
Yeah, it actually falls on.
Is that under fringe or no?
It falls under fringe.
Yeah.
You want to skip that?
You mean put it down under fringe?
Is fringe on? Oh yeah, look at that. Do we have that here?
L?
The next thing I'm looking at is town council.
Town council is what I had
That's what I had.
next.
So if you want, you could maybe do fringe now. You know, Maria's here. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I say let's go to fringe.
She's here. We'll use it. Do it.
We need to make a motion to move that?
I don't think so.
No, because it's technically the employee assistance program is underneath that. Okay, and who else is still in the meeting?
Just Cynthia is in there.
Cindy, did you have anything to comment on those?
Oh, no, I'm still here. and Everything seems fine to me.
Okay. Whoever, if you have any comments to make, please feel free to
Okay, thank you.
let us know.
All right, so for longevity, the union set up that after a certain number of years, people get a longevity payment. So that's just setting that up and setting it aside so that we're able to pay those. Okay, longevity, health and life insurance, that did go up. I think Orla, correct me if I'm wrong, but are we using the percentage that we got from HD Seeker?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this current forecast, our proposal includes 17.5% increase. And yeah, Amy and Marie have been involved in these many discussions. We're part of a consortium, but we have asked our agents to go out and market us and come up with anything, see what else is out there and see if we can get something cheaper. So that's what they're in the process of doing.
So is that in conjunction with the school?
Yeah, we're combined with the school on this.
And when you say you've asked to go out and market, you're talking both entities?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a huge increase.
Yeah, it is, especially after the 19% we got last year.
Right. And that wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, no.
But I think everybody's feeling an increase in health insurance. I don't know.
That's for sure. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on with that.
Okay. That's crazy.
And then for pension, that's based on the total of what we would owe.
So yeah, it's our MERS payment.
Yep.
Which essentially increases about 2% every year.
FICA, that's nothing we have any control over. Unemployment compensation, we've had quite a lot, quite a number of unemployment claims because of what's happened with COVID. So we're basically leaving it where it is, even though we haven't spent that much at this point, because we have a credit from the state. So we're working off of that for now. Because they ended up giving us support to also cover that.
Oh, support because of COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So typically, Orla, when we put aside 5,000 to cover unemployment, does it go into a fund for the potential?
Put into a fund in the past. There's
Okay.
been some years where we've hardly used it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure you barely use it at all.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
So,
But this year's been a big year.
Right.
Yeah, so as you see, the total we paid out in last year was 11 grand. Let me just hide a couple of columns here and see if I can get some historical data.
Anything, have we paid out anything this year currently?
Well, no, because we have the credit.
Oh, still have the credit. Okay.
Yeah. So if you look back, so 13, 14, 875, 32, you know, it was obviously something was going crazy in 16. And then we come as far as things were okay. And then 1920, we paid out 11 grand.
Okay.
So traditionally, we've budgeted around the same time, same amount every year.
Right. Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely, Cindy.
In regards to the medical insurance, does the town look into any other insurances, or they keep the same carriers, or how does that work?
So we have an agent that acts on our behalf. So that agent is currently marketing us to different providers. So,
okay.
So yeah.
Okay,
that's
thank
been
you.
looked at.
All right, this is one minute.
Yeah, 17.5% is outrageous, and they don't look like they're going to come down any lower than that with the current provider we have. So they're doing everything they can to find a better solution for us.
Right.
Thank you.
Orla, of course, you were in that meeting when we basically said we were going to leave this consortium. And then it looked like their rates would increase to 23%.
Without us in the group.
Without us in the group, which was unbelievable. So.
So.
Oh.
Who else is in that group?
There's 6 different towns. We're the biggest. We do have, we have Brooklyn, Board of Ed and town, but it's a small district.
Right.
We have Columbia, Bolton. Gosh, I'm trying to remember who they are. Thompson, Columbia, Bolton, Brooklyn, and one other, I can't remember.
Canterbury? No, Canterbury wasn't in there.
Oh, Canterbury, it is. Yep,
Canterbury?
Canterbury is the other group.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're the biggest. We're the only ones with a bigger school district. You know, the other Canterbury and Brooklyn and Columbia and Bolton, they all don't have their own high schools. So yeah, we look, you know, I guess once we go, things are going to be tougher for them if that happens. So maybe they'll come down.
But no matter what, our costs are generated by the school because they're the biggest part of the healthcare system.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
They-
you know, if
And
were
we
on
have
our
to
own-
follow.
If we're on our own, our costs will be just outrageous.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, it's fortunate that we've been able to partner with them all along on this.
Just a shame that health insurance has gone up to as much as it is currently, and then to add another 17.5%, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Okay. We still have Marie on? So,
Marie, do you want to talk about workers' comp?
is she with us? Oh, there she is. Wait.
Marie is muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute her.
I got it. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Okay. Yeah, so the workers' compensation figures we end up getting from our insurance broker based on claims that we've made. And they try to estimate out what they think it will be. It could run lower, it could run higher. That's sort of where that number comes from. Well, it is where that number comes from.
So that came from the workers' comp insurance.
It's
Came
our
from
estimate based on our insurance
So what drives that up?
claims.
Yeah, more people getting hurt.
That's what I'm asking. We're having a lot of claims? Is that it?
Well, we're combined. This is also one that we combine with the school on. So, you know,
Do the fire departments fall under the workers' comp as well?
they do. That's why we break them down. You can see how much we pay for workers' comp for the fire departments.
Oh, it is broken down?
Yeah.
I did see
It's on
that.
first page.
Oh, on the other page. Yes, on the first page.
Workers'
Got it.
compensation, yeah.
Yeah.
Town, library, and
But that itself is a moving target because it depends on the school could be up in their claims, the town could be up another year in their claims. And by having the bigger pool, it gives us, you know, the best rates as possible.
Yeah, and you know, there's been times in the past where, you know, our proposed rates were, you know, our claims were higher than the school. So, you know, we were looking at an increase and we were able to help the school out by covering their increase. And even with that, it still ended up being less for us. So, Marie, I can't remember, I can't find my document, but what's the percentage increase they're proposing at the moment?
Wasn't the 14%? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
14%.
Yeah, that's what I have written, 14%.
But HG Seeger is still selling that right now, aren't they? They're still marketing it to get us the best rate.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I got to step away for a second. My dog's going nuts outside.
You want us to keep going, Suzanne? Oh, okay. Bathroom breaks for anybody that needs one.
I am going to reduce this here, actually. So we're in the process of evaluating on the other professional fees, which is basically our other post employment benefits. We get it valued every other year, which is basically all the other benefits we offer to retirees, and you know, whether it's COBRA or whether it's covered under a teacher's contract or whatever. But that should be only $1,500. So my apologies, I'm going to change it now.
Which one is that, Orla?
So it's the other professional fees.
Okay.
And because we're covering, so the current years will be approximately 6,000 because they valued it in the year 2021. We will not need that part of the other professional fees done next year, so it should be only 1,500.
So that's going to drop from 6 to 15?
Yep.
So that's good.
Hey, Suzanne's back.
Okay. Severance payments, that's payments that we would have to make for somebody who leaves should they have sick time that they're going to get paid out, or vacation time that's left. We try to estimate how many people we think may be retiring within a year to get some sort of an idea of what that might be. But again, it's hard to say. I mean, this past year I think we had 4. So that's what that is in there for.
Yeah, the current year's total is almost $30,000, but we only budgeted 25. So a couple of years ago, you might remember that I'd approached the Board of Selectmen and asked, would it be possible to take what was left over in each of those line items at the end of the year and put it into a transfer fund and keep it for reserve, because, you know, there's going to be a period of time, kind of like what happened in fiscal 20. So at the moment, the estimate is in there for 30,000, but what we might determine that the Board of Finance actually takes some of that money that we do have in reserve to offset the difference here, because, you know, as you see, if our estimate's 30, our budget's 25, we're going to be $5,000 over budget in this for the current year. Marie did a little bit of, she did some checking on some estimates for next year, and I think some of our estimates will be up to about 10,000. Does that sound right, Marie?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So if we budgeted the 20, there's a good chance we're going to incur at least 10 of that, and maybe if there was anything left at the end of the year, we could put it into the reserve fund.
How many people do we have eligible?
Well, there's all of the union staff. They're the ones that are eligible for this. Non-union are not. But we do have a number of employees who potentially could be in a position where they're getting ready to retire in the next year or so.
I mean, you know, we always, you know, they put in X number of years, they have the opportunity to go, but, you know, you start looking at it where it becomes more probable and you try and budget that way.
That's what we're suggesting. Hence, our probables would be up to about 10,000. The other is extra.
Okay.
10,000 would be the probable, and the other 10 is extra.
It's extra if anybody else were to leave. In other words,
And we pay out sick time,
we pay out sick time for
Yes.
union employees only.
so that's part of their contract.
Yes.
Thank you. And there's no cap on that,
That is prorated.
but there's no cap on it.
Well, there's a cap based on when you were hired.
Yeah.
Of how
So-
many hours they can accumulate.
Yes. So somebody might have 1,200 hours. Somebody would have 960.
And they're allowed to accumulate that many hours? That there's nothing in the contract that puts a cap on that?
No.
The cap is, I
Wow.
think, well, it depends. So the payout is also different depending on when you were employed.
Right.
Okay, I'm understanding that, and that doesn't change, I take it?
I think isn't it 50% and then 25%?
Yes, after a certain
Most
date.
employees only get a quarter of whatever they accrued,
That's sick and vacation?
No, we're just talking about sick.
just sick.
Sick is 25% for those hired most recently, there are quite a few still that would get 50%.
I see. At
And-
one time, it was 100%.
Yes,
my
it was.
And their vacation, is that at 100%?
Yes.
But are they required to use their vacation technically in the year?
Yeah, we
Right.
try not to carry over.
That
But They
doesn't.
have to request the carryover.
Right. But if somebody's, yeah, if somebody anniversary is in February and they left last July, they'd have all of that time that they had not used
Right.
that would be paid out at 100%.
I'm not sure whether you were there for this, Suzanne, but on that last line item, the other professional fees, this is the fund that we pay to our actuarial firm when they value our OPEB at the end of each fiscal year as part of the audit process. Every other year, there's a full valuation done. That's actually being carried out this year. So if you see the estimate for 6,000, my error, I was connecting to an incorrect cell, and it should be $1,500 as a
Okay,
proposal for
that's
next
good.
fiscal year.
And Marie, do you want to just talk about the employee assistance program?
Yep. So Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield offers this program for employees, and it basically has a number of different categories where people can call or be seen for help with something. For meeting with an attorney, you get a half an hour free time to work on a will or something like that. There are hotlines that you can do for medical stuff or questions, and it's not just the employee, it's the employee, the spouse, and any children living at home. So for this price, there's an awful lot of services that people do get.
Hey,
Do they use
I was going to say, do they use it? I'm just curious. Do we get a report that states how many people used a call line or things
I
like?
can get that from them.
Okay.
I'll
That
make a
would be
note.
Interesting. I think it would be interesting to
And
see.
Could be another area that we team up with the school.
So just so you know, this
know what I mean?
was offered to the school before and they chose not to take it up. But we
I was
had
just curious as to why, what they're doing.
offered this service forever. We used to have a Tree United,
Yep, and nobody used it.
and well, you know what? They didn't know it existed.
Right.
So, and their option was much more expensive than what we get.
I remember that.
I mean,
Offices.
$1,000 annually, so it's not
But if it's not getting used,
bank.
or if there's a better,
Yeah, I think it's good to know whether it is being used. Absolutely.
we have, an EA, we have the EAP program through my work, and I don't know that I've ever used it, and I've been there 10 years. It's that kind of thing. I guess you don't need it until you need it, but how effective is it?
I've used it. I'm glad we have it.
Well,
Me too.
That's great to know. That's good to know.
That's good to hear that, somebody at least has used it, because sometimes you spend money on stuff like that and it never gets used.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I would think with the COVID and everything that's going on with depression and, and a lot of other things, that it's money well spent to have that available for our employees, especially at this time, what's going on. You look at $100 an hour, you only got 16 hours worth of services there. So
If you were paying out of pocket,
yeah.
A lot of times what they offer though is like a consulting, most attorneys would do for free. A half an hour or a time on the phone to consult or gather information and then determine if you're gonna use that attorney or that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't care either way, but if there were a better way to do it, I would say,
Marie, can you give us a copy of what services they provide?
that might be good.
yes.
That
Yeah,
might be good.
great.
That's a good idea, Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marie.
You're
And
welcome.
If you could get a ballpark of
Yep.
roughly how many times the services have been used.
You betcha.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions on Fringe and employee assistance program, et cetera? Okay, we can move on to town council. So this one, I don't have it in front of me. I don't have my sheets in front of me, but roughly on the general town council, as of the end of December, I believe we were just about at $7,000 or $8,000 for the end of December.
Yeah, we were at just under 8.
Right. Legal, we weren't looking like so I just thought we should be right on track to stay within that 20, so we should keep it at 20. For labor, we were able to do all our negotiations for the union contract, minus the attorney for the most part. So we had considerable savings. So I don't anticipate needing 10,000. So my thought was to bring that to 5. Legal for zoning has been high the last few years. So I thought that that was probably under budgeted, and we can double check with P&Z when we meet with them next week. But I know that they're going to have the subdivision regs. I know Tira has, well, this is all in this year, but the subdivision regs should fall into next year. So there'll be review of those. It just seems like they've been well over $5,000 the last couple of years. And then wetlands was a concern because we only had allocated 100 for them. And recently Marla needed to consult with the attorney and was worried because she didn't have a budget for it. So I thought it was important to include something for wetlands for when things come up in regard to wetlands permitting that Marla might need to consult with someone on. So those were my thoughts, but interested to hear what the board thinks.
Well, reducing labor, that makes sense. General counsel going down a little bit, you're fine. You're right about zoning. They've been having a lot of things going. And, bumping up wetlands from, to 1,000 is not a huge increase, but it allows them to do what they need.
Yep.
And with all the building and everything going on, there's more and more questions that are out there.
Yeah, so overall, it's somewhat of a reduction over the past year. But I think it's reasonable. I don't think we're going to come up short.
Yeah, and labor usually goes down as long as we're not negotiating, depending on where we are in the contracts.
Yep.
So makes sense.
Any thoughts from anybody?
No, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Exactly.
So.
All right.
All right, that brings us to Board of Selectmen. Kind of kept everything relatively the same. There's a reduction in what's estimated this year in town dues and memberships because CCM refunded half of our dues last year due to the COVID situation, which was really great. I know I brought it up last year. I'll bring it up again. I question our membership with Connecticut, the Council of Small Towns cost. Especially during this pandemic. I haven't seen or heard from them in the entire year that I've been in the office. It's $1,000. I question how much they really represent us. CCM, on the other hand, they're always there for us. They're constantly interacting. They're constantly sharing legislation. And I know that they represent a lot of the bigger towns, but I just don't see any action from COST, Council of Small Towns. And that's $1,000 that we pay them annually. So
I remember
those are my thoughts.
I remember we discussed this before, and Ken, you had shed some light on that, I think.
It's another avenue. They do look out for the smaller towns. I mean, this past year has been, I'm sure they've been inactive because of the pandemic and that the governor is more focused on, dealing with the pandemic. But we're going to be getting into budget, cycle with the legislative. They should be in there now, but you're not hearing much about it. And at some point, there was also talk in the past about the two of them possibly combining and joining resources with CCM. But being a small town, whatever advantage we can get, it's an extra voice. I've always felt that. And, I attended a lot of their meetings in the past, and they've done training sessions and different things. And, and they have set up meetings with the governor just as cost versus, where CCM does it with their bigger group. So,
Well, what do they actually do for Thompson, town of Thompson?
excuse me?
What are they actually doing for the town of Thompson?
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Well, what are they doing for the Council of Small Towns? How are they interacting with us in the town? Are they doing anything?
You have to ask Amy. I mean, right now, I would have to think that with the pandemic, they probably have their hands full and they probably haven't done much.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I mean, yeah, there's less going on, but CCM is just as active. I literally haven't heard a word from them. I haven't even received an email from them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, what are they doing for us in the town of Thompson?
I mean, we can blame it on the pandemic, but there's no excuse not to at least keep touch.
Yeah, that's what
I had this concern about them last year.
That's why I agree. I mean, if we don't hear from them and they're not doing anything for us, I mean, I don't see why they should be paid. I know, that's just my opinion.
So is that kind of a decision that we?
Oh, we can drop them. That's within our purview.
Yeah, I mean, I know we had this discussion last year and we decided to stay in and pay the dues, but do we want to move forward if they haven't done anything? And during the pandemic is where we might have. I'm sorry, that's my dog. Did you all hear my dog?
He sounds very sad.
That's the girl. She's a husky and she's upset. I don't know if she wants to go out or what. The dogs have more issue than the kids.
I guess the bigger question is during the pandemic, we did receive lots of correspondence from CCM on the newest executive orders and things like that. And in the same, I think CCM was even more vocal. And additionally, they gave us a cut rate and they gave us back half of what we had paid in dues. So, which is very commendable at a time when towns are struggling and our townspeople are struggling. It's great that they actually gave the town money back. I mean, we could reach out and ask them to present to us to maybe, and maybe that's a problem. Maybe I should reach out to them and say, hey, what are you really doing for the towns? Come and present to our board.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. What are they doing? That would be good to look into.
Well, I would reach out to them, Amy, and see what's going on. Yep. And if it doesn't look like things are going to change, we drop them.
Okay.
It's $1,000.
Even if they give us written information on what they can do or what they're doing or what they're working on, something that updates how the town of Thompson is benefiting from this service.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Marie or Orla, when you received the fees from CCM, I mean, they sent us what they were proposed. Did it come with any type of backup material stating we've done this for you or this for you, or this is how we represent the town? And have you seen anything from cost yet this year?
No, what we got from CCM was an email.
Okay.
And I can
did
share
that one stating the prices were going to stay the same.
That's right, and I can share that. Marie, what about cost? What did we get from them?
I had to actually email them because we never paid them for last year. I mean, the current year for 2021. And they're staying the same. It's basically they emailed a flyer. Let's see.
Maybe they didn't want us to pay them this year.
You share the flyer in sense of
Oh,
what.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically not, I mean, I can't call it a flyer because it's really just what the payments would be. And then there's a little blurb at the bottom about who they are kind of,
Yeah.
and how
Okay.
they feel like they're
I'll find that
supporting
out,
us.
Right?
Okay. Well, that might be helpful too, to see. what
Okay, so
they're-
I'll add that.
I mean, I don't want to completely redline them, but it's still in the back of my mind.
Right. I just hopped on their website too while you guys were talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're basically
Gotta
saying that they're giving small communities a strong voice in the legislative process, but it says that it's member driven. And
Hmm.
I don't recall being asked to seeing anything about, like Ken being asked to participate as a member. But I could be wrong.
So it's interesting, Amy, I just did a search on my email. I
Mhm.
get emails from costs.
Really?
That's so strange. I don't know. Yeah. That's weird. I just went back over my history. I got one 29th of January, the 25th of January, the 15th of January, 3 of them in December.
I
Wow.
haven't seen one. So you must be on
Wow.
their mailing list. You must be on their email list. I'd like
I
to.
know. I don't even know how I ended up on their email list. That's so strange.
You pay the bill.
Would it
All
make
right.
sense to have Orla forward a few so you can see
Yeah,
what's
that would be
they're
great. I'd
sending
love
out?
to.
I will.
So to move on, we'll come back to this one line item.
Yeah.
And then Orla, just for you, we did get confirmation that the Chamber of Commerce is remaining at 200 and Thompson Business is remaining at 120.
Awesome. Thank you.
The only one and NECOG will come when John comes.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Which John is scheduled for Wednesday, so everybody knows.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or thoughts on this? And we lost Suzanne again, I think.
No, I'm back. Just
Okay, good.
the dogs had to go out. Dogs are worse than the kids.
Thoughts, any other thoughts or questions on Board of Selectmen?
Nothing for me.
I'm good.
All right. Turtelot Scholarship. What does that fall under? How come I'm not finding that?
Well, that's under general services.
Oh,
So,
it is general services. Okay, and we don't
yeah,
have a lot
so
of information.
like we can take a look at general services because Marie is here and this is her department.
Okay.
I mean, we are going to have a lot of the individual groups, but it might be worth our while taking a look if you guys are up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you want to go ahead, Amy? Or sorry, Marie? I'll bring it up on the screen. If you don't, I can share it with you.
No, I have it. So I think I have it. Yeah, so every year students apply for scholarships for college or further education. And the town has issued 2 per year. So that they're 500 each. So that's what that is for.
Mhm.
Are we doing this whole category?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay, no, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Are those scholarships posted anywhere, or is that just?
The scholarships, it has to be a Thompson student. So I believe that it's the, what office do you call it? Guidance office.
Okay, all
that,
right.
that has those available for kids in the Thompson school system,
Okay, thank you.
the public
The
school.
whole scholarship night, Cindy, that is really nice where each scholarship is given out by either a member, like Amy, do you give out, or did you give out the turtle?
I've given it out in the past. Amy should have,
I did it virtually.
Last year was
Yeah.
virtual, yeah.
It
Oh,
was
that's good.
virtual.
Yeah,
but that's all their awards with different accomplishments, and
yeah,
Right,
it's quite the night.
it really is.
that's good. I just wondering where it was posted.
All right.
So
Emergency fuel assistance. Marie, is that what?
that's through Teague.
Right.
And I don't believe we weren't going to be doing this category, so I don't think you got the backup paperwork for any of this.
We don't, and we can always circle back to this.
Yes.
So On the budget that I have, it's listing as we're taking that out.
No,
No,
Didn't have any information.
Not been put in yet.
Yeah, I got
Right.
zeros.
So I know Marie did share with me this morning, which I forwarded out to you guys, the information from Teague, and it looks like she's asking for an additional 6,000. But if you want, I can
For
leave it
Teague?
blank until such time as we meet with Anne.
Yeah,
yeah, I think most of these items, I mean, even Northeast Transit District, that'll be something that falls under John on Wednesday.
Amy, have there been many people that in this category that are they all coming to present, or do I just need to go over what they're?
John is, United Services is, Teague is. I did not have, I have to get the contact for Community Kitchen, and I do have the contact for TVCCA. I was gonna get out to, reach out to Eugene Thoreau.
Okay, and we did get a letter from Community Kitchen, so I do have that contact information for you.
Okay, great,
They're requesting 1,500.
okay. And I'll see if we can squeeze them in and have them present in the next one of the next 3 meetings.
Okay. And then I'm not sure, is Access coming, Amy?
No.
No, I didn't. Okay,
Well,
so,
I didn't get a request for them. I don't have their request, their information.
oh, okay. And again, it's probably because we weren't going to be doing this category.
Right.
But we have received requests for 2022, which is you can see where they are. The only note is that for the Access Agency last year, it was 1,000 to general and 2,000 to the No Freeze Shelter. They haven't requested anything for the No Freeze Shelter this year. They're
Right.
just looking for the 1,000 to general. I'm not sure what that is about, but if you want their information to get in touch, Amy, we could do that.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting? Didn't we just send out their payment?
They had never requested their payment.
Oh,
So there were quite a few of them, almost, yeah,
They-
the majority of them in that additional
never-
programs.
we never asked for money for the No Freeze Shelter, but it was
No.
a cause that I thought was extremely worthy. And I still think it's valuable because, I mean, with everything going on right now, you can't be kicked out of your apartment if you don't pay rent because of the COVID situation and the unemployment. But what happens when all of those programs get lifted? What happens when mortgages are foreclosed because someone did lose their job? Not that I'm saying it's going to happen, but homelessness we know is still an ongoing problem. And I thought the No Freeze Shelter was such a worthy cause. And I still think it is. And I think if they didn't request it, it's because they never asked for it last year. It was something that we had offered to them.
And that's happened in the past where they haven't followed it up with the official written request.
Right. We had reduced last year, we had reduced what we provided to United Services, but gave
correct.
some money to the No Freeze Shelter. So, yeah.
So Amy, which people do you need to get in touch with?
I'm gonna get in touch with TVCCA still and Community Kitchens and Access. You said they didn't present last year even, so.
Right, but they did send
they
paperwork.
sent-
Some of it is based on how far away they are.
Right. And of course, United, and then the others are already booked in.
Yep.
So,
So Access, okay. And I'll give you that contact information.
great, thank you. Quinnebog Valley Senior Center.
Mhm.
Did Linda present last year? I don't think she did.
No, nope.
Okay.
I don't believe they did.
And I'm sorry, I'm not remembering. Oh, Southern SACCEC, it's for the,
Sexual Assault Crisis Center.
yes, I couldn't think of what that one was. So. Does the board have any other thoughts? Do you want to just wait for the presentation? Obviously, you'll want to wait for the presentation from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most-
and-
if they're coming in to present, we might as well wait and hear what they have to say, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And there is some information that was sent in the email.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move on.
Moving on.
Celebrations. I don't think this is a real difficult one.
Nope,
Kind of
no
cut-
problem.
Let's hope we have a Memorial Day parade this year.
That would be great.
Any questions or thoughts on these two items, the Veterans Celebration and the Memorial Day Parade?
Nope.
Suzanne, anything?
Nope.
Okay, me
No,
neither.
I mean, it's been the same, hasn't it, for years? Oh, wait, mine's saying minus, but I'm assuming it's not put in yet.
It's what?
But mine's showing minuses again, but I'm assuming it's just that the selectmen proposed is not put in yet.
Right.
And we went over the fringe benefits, that's my next.
So insurance. Orla or Marie, do you want to?
Right. So the municipal insurance, oh golly, Orla, I can't remember who we're with.
So we're with
It switched.
Travelers this year.
Travelers, right. It switched from the year before. So HD Seeger, the broker, goes out if we're interested in seeing if there's anybody else that'll come in lower for us. And they did about a year ago at this time. So we haven't been with the current company all that long, but it's worked out very well. So that's the cost. This is the cost they're projecting that we'll need to pay. It has gone up some, but it's an estimate increase. So he'll know more as we get a little bit further in the year.
And I think this one is still 14, right, Marie?
Pardon me?
This increase proposal is 14?
Yeah, that was 14%.
14%? Okay.
That's worst case scenario.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there a good chance, Orla, that it's a lot less than this?
Oh, yeah, we won't settle for 14.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Well, what happened to the one that we had previously? It was a new company.
Yeah, that's right. What were they called, Marie? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
It was another S, I think. Good question. I don't recall. But I can find.
Trident.
Was
Who?
it?
Trident?
Trident, yes. It was Trident.
It was.
Yeah, they had just entered into the market.
Yes. Well, they didn't, we ended up switching. I can't remember the specifics, but it was something to do with their workers' comp insurance was coming in extremely higher than what we had, and it was just not worth it. So, we combined with the school on this one. So we all got together and decided it was worth the switching.
Well, that's why we have HG Seeger out there doing their deal.
Yeah, acting on our behalf.
Well, I will say, I mean, if we do anticipate a large increase like this, it comes to no surprise. I mean, we were, as my business, looking at a 20% increase across the board. For the first time ever, we have a different insurance company for workers' comp, for auto, for liability, and for property. I have 4 different bills coming in from 4 different companies, and that's the only way they could get our prices, keep our prices where they were. So it's, blame it on COVID, I guess. I don't know. So hopefully this looks better by the time it's time to come to crunch time.
Yeah, just looking at insurances, have we gotten an estimate yet on the for the fire departments?
Marie?
No, I don't have anything yet.
Nothing
No,
yet.
he hasn't given us a ballpark.
Okay. I know that's under the fire department's category, but that's also one of the things that HG Seeger looks at for us as well.
Okay.
And bonds, that's you, Orla.
Yeah, it's our crime policy.
Mhm.
Other thoughts on these items? Okay, capital, we won't go over yet because we've got library and public works. Is there any other capital requests that I'm missing that we'll go over?
No, we do have library, but I
Yeah.
have it that Allison will present her library requests when she's
Okay.
in the library. So
Very good.
same with transfers. I do have debt retirement. I think I gave you guys debt retirement, right?
Yes, you did.
How's that?
Let me bring it up.
Yeah, you gave us debt retirement.
Okay, so yeah, we don't have a huge amount of additional debt, but we do have some. So this current year, we didn't purchase any vehicles, whether by cash or by financing. So what you're seeing here is pretty much status quo to last fiscal year. Obviously, we've got changes in our school loan. That pushes out to 2027. The oil spill loan, we're down to a very small principal now because we paid off the chunk of it with the settlement money. But we do have a sweet rate. So at the moment, we haven't proposed paying it off, but that might come up in discussions with the Board of Finance. So that's on those two. On the retirements, we paid off 15 truck at the end of June. So what we have left is a sweeper. We've got one payment next year will be the last year of the sweeper. We got the first 9-ton we purchased in 18. And, you see the rest of them, paving box and the next 9-ton and 2 1-tons. And the last
Okay.
vehicle, last piece of equipment / vehicle we purchased was the John Deere.
Questions or thoughts? Yeah, that concludes.
I think, is there anything else?
I just have one question. Hey, Orla,
Yeah.
trying to read what you're putting up on the screen is gibberish.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else saw that.
I always have a hard time reading, but that's because I need a new prescription in my glasses.
No, it's, I don't know if it's the font or whatever. I mean, I went off by the ones that she sent and printed, but
I
It
did.
was very small.
Can you increase the size of it, Orla?
I can, yeah. I just wonder if it's the fact that it's too small.
what I'm seeing is, phew,
Is that any better?
Yeah.
a little bit.
I have no problem seeing it. I thought it was fine.
Oh, good. That's good to know, Cindy.
I
And
wonder.
then maybe it's the program that I have in my computer that's
Well, you can
opening up.
also, you know what, you can also change the view if you go up to the top
Yeah.
right corner. Let me just see. You can do, well, I did it. I changed
Side by.
the standard view and that made it a little bit bigger.
There we go.
Yeah, and then it puts the faces at the top too.
Right.
That just made a big difference.
And if you're
Oh,
like,
good.
me and you have the chat box open, if you close the chat box, I think.
No,
hit
it was
participant box.
it was the view.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I have the paper to back it up too, so I keep looking at both, but
Yeah, I was looking at the paper because I couldn't see it on the computer.
I'm with you,
It's
Ken.
fine for me.
So question for the board. How do you want to handle things going forward? I mean, last year, my thought was that we should just take all the presentations, kind of see where we're at the end of the presentations before we go back and make any kind of suggestions or adjustments. And one of the other things, I think if I remember correctly, there was some concern that if we were planning on to potentially cutting a department's budget, that maybe they should be in the meeting to defend themselves or to fight for their budget. What are your thoughts? I just want to hear what you guys are thinking, because in my mind, I still think we need to see the whole picture before we can really
Well,
start.
the couple of things that I did with Paul, just he was there, so it worked.
Right.
But if we're on the fence for something and we're looking back at it after, yeah, the department should be there to know what we're doing.
Mhm.
That's only fair to them. They put their budget up. But
Right.
going through it and looking at it, I agree. And then we'll come back and review it.
Suzanne, you
come back and have and invite all the departments to come in. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Yeah, whoever is concerned that their budget might be cut could then
Yep.
be on.
could always, and it works out perfectly with Zoom because they can just dial in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the department should be notified if there's any cuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can sit in the background and
Right.
just monitor it and still be able to do their work and et cetera. So that's
Okay.
only fair to them.
All right.
Yeah, because a lot of time is put into the budgets, getting it ready and stuff. So.
Any other thoughts on anything we discussed today before we adjourn?
No, I'm good.
All right. I'll make a motion. We adjourn at 4:42 PM.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you very much. It was
Thank you,
interesting.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.